Lisa Martinez sat on her favorite bench in Riverside Park, unwrapping her turkey sandwich. The sun felt warm on her face, and she smiled as she watched children play on the swings nearby. This was her favorite time of day. School was over, and she had 30 minutes of peace before heading home to grade papers. She took a bite of her sandwich and looked around the park. The trees were full of green leaves, and flowers bloomed in neat rows along the walking path. A few joggers ran past, and an old man fed breadcrumbs to the ducks by the pond. Everything seemed normal and peaceful. That's when she heard a small sound from the bushes behind her bench. It was soft, like a tiny whimper. Lisa turned around and looked at the thick green bushes. She heard the sound again. Something was hiding in there, and it sounded hurt. Lisa got up from the bench and walked slowly toward the bushes. She pushed some branches aside and looked down. There, curled up in a ball, was the strangest little creature she had ever seen. It looked like a lizard, but it was bigger than any lizard she knew. Its scales were dark green with gold edges, and they seemed to shine in the sunlight. The creature was about the size of a small cat. The little being looked up at her with large, bright eyes. Those eyes were not like any animal eyes Lisa had ever seen. They looked sad and scared, but also very smart. The creature tried to move away from her, but Lisa could see that one of its legs was hurt. "Oh, you poor little thing," Lisa said softly. She knelt down on the grass, trying not to scare the creature. "Are you hurt? Are you hungry?" The creature stopped trying to crawl away and looked at her. Its head tilted to one side, like it was trying to understand her words. Lisa noticed that its belly looked very thin. The poor thing was clearly starving. Lisa looked at her sandwich, then back at the creature. She broke off a small piece of turkey and held it out. "Here, little one, are you hungry?" The creature sniffed the air. Its nose twitched, and Lisa could see that it was very interested in the food. Slowly, carefully, it reached out with its small head and took the piece of turkey from her hand. It ate the meat quickly, then looked at her with hope in its eyes. "You are hungry," Lisa said with a smile. She broke off another piece of turkey and offered it. Again, the creature took it gently from her hand. Lisa continued feeding it small pieces of her sandwich. The creature ate everything she gave it, and with each bite, it seemed to trust her more. As she fed the little being, Lisa noticed more strange things about it. Its claws were very sharp, much sharper than any lizard she knew. There were small bumps on its back that looked like they might grow into something else someday. And when it moved, she thought she saw tiny sparks come from its mouth. "What are you?" she whispered to herself. The creature finished eating and looked up at her. It made a soft sound, almost like a purr. Then it did something that made Lisa's heart melt. It gently touched her hand with its small head, like it was saying thank you. Lisa smiled and carefully petted the creature's head. Its scales felt warm and smooth. "You're welcome, little one. I wish I could help you more." As she sat there with the strange creature, Lisa began to feel like someone was watching her. The feeling was strong, like eyes staring at her back. She looked around the park, but everything seemed normal. Children still played on the swings. The old man still fed the ducks. Joggers still ran on the path. But then she saw him. A tall man in a dark coat stood by the big oak trees near the pond. He was not moving at all. He was just standing there, looking straight at her. Even from far away, Lisa could tell that he was watching her very carefully. The man was not old, but he was not young either. He had dark hair and stood very straight, like a soldier. His coat was long and black, and it looked expensive. But what made Lisa feel nervous was the way he stared at her. His eyes never moved away from her and the creature. Lisa felt a chill run down her back. How long had he been watching her? Had he seen her feeding the strange creature? Did he know? what this little being really was. The creature seemed to sense her worry. It made a small, frightened sound and tried to hide behind her legs. Lisa could feel it shaking. "It's okay," she whispered to the creature. "I won't let anyone hurt you." But even as she said the words, Lisa wondered if she could keep that promise. The man by the trees took a step toward them, then another step. He was walking slowly, but he was definitely coming their way. Lisa's heart started to beat faster. She looked down at the creature, then back at the man. She had to make a choice. She could run away and leave the creature alone, or she could stay and face whatever was coming. The creature looked up at her with those intelligent eyes. In that moment, Lisa knew she could not abandon it. This little being had trusted her enough to take food from her hand. It had thanked her in its own way. She would not leave it now. Lisa stood up, keeping the creature behind her legs. She watched as the man in the dark coat continued walking toward them. Her hands were shaking, but she tried to look brave. "Whatever happens," she whispered to the creature, "I'll try to protect you." The man was getting closer. In a few more steps, he would reach them. Lisa took a deep breath and waited to see what would happen next. She had no idea that her simple act of sharing her sandwich was about to change her life forever. The man in the dark coat stopped walking when he was about 10 feet away from Lisa. He raised his hands slowly, showing his palms to her. His face looked serious, but not angry. "Please don't be afraid," he said in a calm voice. "I'm not here to hurt you or the little one." Lisa kept standing in front of the creature, but she felt a little less scared. The man's voice was gentle, and his eyes looked kind. Still, she did not move away from the creature. "Who are you?" Lisa asked. "How long have you been watching us?" The man smiled a small smile. "My name is Marcus Stone. I've been looking for that little one for 3 days now. I was starting to worry that I would never find her." "Her?" Lisa looked down at the creature behind her legs. "This is a female?" "Yes," Marcus said. "Her name is Ember. She got lost, and her family is very worried about her." Lisa felt confused. Her family? What kind of animal is she? "I've never seen anything like her before." Marcus looked around the park. There were still people walking and playing, but none of them were close enough to hear their conversation. He took a step closer to Lisa. "What I'm about to tell you might sound crazy," Marcus said, "but I need you to listen carefully. Ember is not just any animal. She's a dragon." Lisa stared at him. "A dragon? Like in fairy tales?" "Not like in fairy tales," Marcus said. "Dragons are real. They've been living alongside humans for thousands of years. Most people never see them because dragons are very good at hiding." Lisa looked down at Ember. The little creature was still hiding behind her legs, but she was listening to every word. Her bright eyes moved back and forth between Lisa and Marcus. "You're serious," Lisa said. It was not a question. She could tell from Marcus's face that he was telling the truth. "Very serious," Marcus replied. "Ember is just a baby. She's only a few months old. 3 days ago, there was a fight between 2 dragon families. In all the confusion, Ember got separated from her parents. She's been hiding in this park ever since, too scared to come out." Lisa knelt down and looked at Ember. Now that she knew what to look for, she could see it. The way Ember moved was too graceful for a lizard. Her eyes were too intelligent, and those small bumps on her back, they would grow into wings someday. "A baby dragon," Lisa whispered. She reached out and gently touched Ember's head. "No wonder you were so hungry, little one." Ember made a soft purring sound and pressed her head against Lisa's hand. She seemed to understand that Lisa was trying to help her. Marcus watched this with surprise on his face. "That's amazing," he said. "What's amazing?" Lisa asked. "The way she trusts you," Marcus explained. Dragons are usually very careful around humans they don't know. But Ember seems to really like you. She feels safe with you." Lisa smiled and continued petting Ember's head. "I like her too. She's very sweet." Marcus walked closer, moving slowly, so he wouldn't scare Ember. Most humans react very differently when they find out about dragons. Some people get scared and run away. Others try to catch the dragon or hurt it. But you ... you just want to help her. "Of course I want to help her," Lisa said. "She's just a baby, and she's lost and hungry. It doesn't matter what kind of creature she is." Marcus knelt down beside Lisa. "That's exactly what I hoped you would. Say Ember needs help, and I think you might be the perfect person to help her." "Me?" Lisa looked surprised. "But I don't know anything about dragons." "You know the most important thing," Marcus said. "You know how to be kind. You saw a hungry, scared creature, and you shared your food with her. You didn't ask what she was or where she came from. You just helped her because she needed help." Ember crawled out from behind Lisa's legs and moved closer to Marcus. She sniffed his hand, then made a happy chirping sound. It was clear that she knew Marcus and trusted him. "Hello, little Ember," Marcus said softly. He reached into his coat pocket and pulled out a small piece of what looked like dried meat. "I brought your favorite snack." Ember's eyes lit up. She took the meat from Marcus's hand and ate it quickly. Then she looked between Marcus and Lisa, like she was trying to decide something. "She's trying to choose," Marcus said with a smile. "Choose what?" Lisa asked. "She wants to go home to her family, but she also wants to stay with you," Marcus explained. "Dragons form very strong bonds. In just a few minutes, you've become important to her." Lisa felt her heart warm. She looked at Ember's bright, intelligent eyes and saw trust there. This little dragon had chosen to trust her, even though they had just met. "What happened to her family?" Lisa asked. "Are they okay?" Marcus's face became serious again. "They're alive, but they're very worried. Dragon families are very close. When a baby goes missing, the whole family suffers. Ember's mother has barely eaten since she disappeared." Lisa felt sad thinking about Ember's worried mother. "We have to get her back to them." "That's going to be more complicated than you might think," Marcus said. "Dragons don't live in the open like humans do. They have their own secret places, their own rules. Taking you there would mean showing you things that very few humans have ever seen." "I don't care about that," Lisa said quickly. "I just want Ember to be safe with her family." Marcus studied Lisa's face for a long moment. "You really mean that, don't you?" "Yes, I do." Marcus made a decision. "Okay, I'm going to trust you with something very important. There are other people like me who help protect dragons. We call ourselves guardians. We've been working with dragons for many generations." "There are more people who know about dragons?" Lisa asked. "Not many, but yes. We help dragons when they get hurt or lost. We also help keep their secrets safe from people who might want to hurt them." Ember had finished eating her snack. She climbed up onto Lisa's lap and curled up there like a small cat. Lisa could feel the warmth of her body and the steady rhythm of her breathing. "She really likes you," Marcus said. "I've never seen a dragon baby trust a stranger so quickly." "Maybe she knows I want to help her," Lisa said, gently stroking Ember's. Scales. Marcus pulled out a small device that looked like a phone. "I need to call the other guardians. They need to know that Ember is safe, and they need to know about you." "About me?" "Lisa, what you did today was special. You showed kindness to a creature you didn't understand. You put her needs before your own safety. That's not something everyone would do." Lisa looked down at Ember, who was now sleeping peacefully in her lap. "Anyone would have done the same thing." Marcus shook his head. "No, they wouldn't. Trust me, I know. What you did today shows that you have something special inside you, something that dragons recognize and value. As Marcus made his phone call, Lisa sat quietly with Ember sleeping in her lap. She thought about how her ordinary day had turned into something extraordinary. This morning, she had been just a teacher eating lunch in the park. Now she was holding a baby dragon and talking to a guardian about secret dragon families. But somehow, it all felt right. Ember felt warm and safe in her arms, and Lisa knew that she would do whatever it took to help this little dragon get back to her family, even if it meant stepping into a world she had never imagined. 20 minutes later, 2 more people arrived at the park. Lisa watched as a woman with long black hair and a man with a friendly smile walked toward their bench. Both wore dark clothes like Marcus, and both moved with the same careful, quiet way. "Lisa, I'd like you to meet Elena Rodriguez and Jake Thompson," Marcus said as they approached. "They're also guardians." Elena had kind eyes and a gentle voice. "Thank you for taking care of Ember," she said to Lisa. "We've been so worried about her." Jake knelt down and looked at Ember, who was still curled up in Lisa's lap. "She looks much better than when we last saw her. You've been feeding her?" "Just part of my sandwich," Lisa said. She was so hungry. "Turkey sandwich?" Elena asked with a smile. That's one of her favorite foods. Dragons love turkey. Lisa laughed softly. "I had no idea I was feeding a dragon her favorite meal." "Ember has always been special," Jake explained. "Even for a dragon baby, she's very smart and very curious. That's probably why she got so far from her family during the fight." Marcus sat down on the bench next to Lisa. "I told Lisa about dragons and about us being guardians. She wants to help get Ember back to her family." Elena and Jake looked at each other, then at Lisa. "That's very kind of you," Elena said. "But helping a dragon get home isn't simple. Dragon families live in places that are hidden from the human world." "Hidden how?" Lisa asked. "Dragons have learned to live in spaces that humans don't usually go," Jake explained. "Old subway tunnels, abandoned buildings, caves in the mountains. Places where they can be themselves without worrying about being seen. But they're not completely separate from humans," Marcus added. "Dragons have been helping humans for thousands of years. They fought in wars, helped during natural disasters, and protected cities from dangers that humans never even knew about." Lisa looked surprised. "Really? Dragons have helped humans?" "Many times," Elena said. "During the Great Fire in Chicago, dragons helped save thousands of people. During World War II, dragons flew secret missions to help end the war faster. But they always stayed hidden, always worked in secret." "Why do they hide?" Lisa asked. "If they're helping humans, why don't they just live openly with us?" The 3 guardians looked sad. "Because not all humans are like you," Marcus said. "Many people would be afraid of dragons. Others would want to capture them or use them. Some would want to hurt them just because they're different." "That's terrible," Lisa said, holding Ember a little closer. "It is," Jake agreed. "That's why we guardians exist. We help protect the secret. We help dragons who get lost or hurt. And we make sure that the few humans who do learn about dragons are people who can be trusted." Ember stirred in Lisa's lap and opened her eyes. She looked around at all the people surrounding her and made a small, happy sound. She seemed to recognize Elena and Jake, and she was clearly glad to see them. "Hello, little one," Elena said softly. "We've missed you." Ember climbed out of Lisa's lap and walked over to Elena. But after a moment, she looked back at Lisa with a sad expression. "She doesn't want to leave you," Jake observed. "That's very unusual. Dragon babies usually only bond this strongly with their own family." "What does that mean?" Lisa asked. "It means you're special," Marcus said. "Dragons can sense things about people that other humans can't. They can tell if someone is truly kind, truly trustworthy. Ember sees something in you that she likes. Lisa felt honored, but also confused. I'm just a regular person. I teach second grade. I'm not special. The fact that you think that makes you even more special, Elena said with a smile. Truly kind people never think they're better than anyone else. Marcus stood up. Lisa, we need to talk about what happens next. Ember's family is waiting for her in a safe place about an hour from here. We can take her there, but double quotes. But what? But Ember might be happier if you came with us. Jake finished. At least for the reunion. It might help her feel more comfortable. Lisa looked at Ember, who was now sitting between her and Elena. The little dragon was looking at Lisa with hopeful eyes. I'd like to come, Lisa said. But I should warn you. I don't know anything about dragon customs or rules. What if I do? Something wrong? You won't, Elena assured her. Just be yourself. Dragons value honesty and kindness above everything else. You have both of those things. Marcus checked his watch. We should get going. Ember's family has been waiting long. Enough. As they prepared to leave the park, Lisa realized that her whole life was about to change. This morning, she had been a simple teacher. Now she was about to meet a dragon family and enter a hidden world she never knew existed. Are you scared? Jake asked as they walked toward a large black car parked near the park entrance. Lisa thought about it. A little, she admitted, but also excited. I've always loved learning about new things, and this is the most new thing I've ever encountered. That's a good attitude, Marcus said. Dragons respect people who are curious and brave. Elena opened the car door and helped Ember climb into the back seat. There's something else you should know, she said to Lisa. Dragon families are very protective of their young. When they see how well you've taken care of Ember, they're going to be very grateful. I didn't do anything special, Lisa said as she got into the car. Anyone would have helped the hungry, scared baby. No, Marcus said as he started the car. Not everyone would have. But you did, and that's going to make all the difference. As they drove through the city, Elena explained more about dragon society. Dragons live in family groups called clans. Each clan has a leader, usually the oldest and wisest dragon. They make decisions together and take care of each other. How many dragons are there? Lisa asked. Not many, Jake said sadly. There are only a few hundred left in North America. Worldwide, maybe a few thousand. They're very rare. What happened to them? Same thing that happens to many wild animals. Marcus explained. Their homes were destroyed as cities grew. Some were hunted by people who feared them. Others died from pollution or disease. Dragons live for a very long time, but they don't have babies very often. Lisa looked at Ember, who was curled up on the seat next to her. So Ember is extra precious. Every dragon baby is precious, Elena said. But Ember is special even among dragons. She's one of the first dragon babies born in this area in over 20 years. Really? Really. Her birth was celebrated by dragons all over the country. When she went missing, every dragon family in the region started looking for her. Lisa felt the weight of responsibility. She was carrying a baby who was incredibly important to an entire community. But she also felt proud that she had been able to help Dot as they left the city and drove into the countryside. Lisa wondered what Ember's family would be like. Would they be big and scary, like dragons in movies? Or would they be gentle and kind, like Ember? Don't worry, Marcus said, as if he could read her thoughts. Ember's family is going to love you. You saved their baby. In dragon culture, that makes you family too. Lisa smiled and gently petted Ember's head. The little dragon made her happy purring sound and pressed closer to Lisa's hand. I think I'm ready, Lisa said. Let's go meet some dragons. The car turned off the main road and drove down a narrow dirt path that wound through thick forest. Lisa had never been to this part of the countryside before. The trees were so tall and thick that very little sunlight reached the ground. "Where are we going?" Lisa asked. "To one of the oldest dragon sanctuaries in the country," Marcus explained. "It's been a safe place for dragons for over 200 years. After driving for another 10 minutes, they reached a small parking area near what looked like the entrance to a cave. But as they got closer, Lisa could see that it wasn't a natural cave. Someone had built stone walls and carved symbols into the rock. "This is it," Elena said as they got out of the car. Ember became excited as soon as she smelled the air. She made happy chirping sounds and tried to climb out of Lisa's arms. "She knows she's home," Jake said with a smile. A tall woman with silver hair came out of the cave entrance. She wore clothes that looked old-fashioned, but they were made of beautiful, shiny fabric. When she saw Ember, her face lit up with joy. "Ember," the woman called out. "Oh, sweet child, we've been so worried." Ember jumped down from Lisa's arms and ran to the woman, who knelt down and scooped up the little dragon. The woman's eyes were filled with tears of happiness. "This is Catherine White," Marcus said to Lisa. "She's the leader of this sanctuary and the one who takes care of dragon babies." Catherine looked at Lisa with grateful eyes. "You must be the human who saved our little Ember. Thank you so much. We've been scared sick about her." "I'm just glad she's safe," Lisa said. Catherine stood up, still holding Ember. Come inside. Ember's parents are waiting, and there are others who want to meet you." They followed Catherine into the cave, but Lisa quickly realized it wasn't really a cave at all. It was the entrance to an amazing underground city. The walls were made of smooth stone, and soft lights made everything glow with a warm, golden color. "This is incredible," Lisa whispered. "Dragons are excellent builders," Elena explained. "They've been creating places like this for thousands of years." As they walked through wide corridors, Lisa saw amazing things everywhere. There were carvings on the walls that seemed to tell stories. Gardens grew in underground rooms, with plants that glowed softly in the dim light. And everywhere there were dragons. Some dragons were huge, with scales that shone like jewels and wings that could span the width of the corridor. Others were smaller, about the size of large dogs. A few were even smaller than Ember, but all of them moved with grace and dignity. "They're beautiful," Lisa said in wonder. "Each dragon family has different colors and sizes," Jake explained. "The big ones you see here are adults. The medium-sized ones are teenagers. And the small ones are babies like Ember." Several dragons stopped what they were doing to look at Lisa. She felt nervous under their intelligent stares, but she also felt welcome. Their eyes were curious, not unfriendly. Catherine led them to a large, circular room with a high ceiling. The walls were covered with more carvings, and a gentle stream ran through the middle of the room. At the far end, 3 adult dragons waited. "Ember's family," Catherine said softly. The largest dragon was deep purple with silver markings. Her scales sparkled like starlight, and her eyes were the same bright color as Ember's. When she saw Ember, she made a sound that was part roar and part song. "Mama!" Ember chirped, and ran across the room to her mother. The reunion was beautiful. Ember's mother gently nuzzled her baby with her large head, while the other 2 dragons, who Lisa guessed were Ember's father and older sibling, surrounded them with their wings in a protective circle. Lisa felt tears in her eyes, watching the family come together again. She had helped make this moment possible, and it filled her heart with joy. After a few minutes, Ember's mother looked up at Lisa. The large dragon walked slowly across the room, her movements graceful despite her size. She stopped in front of Lisa and lowered her great head. "She's bowing to you," Catherine whispered. "It's the highest honor a dragon can give, Lisa didn't know what to do, so she bowed back. "I'm just glad Ember is safe," she said. The dragon made a low, rumbling sound that somehow seemed friendly. Then she did something that surprised everyone. She gently touched Lisa's forehead with her snout. "What does that mean?" Lisa asked. Catherine looked amazed. "She's marking you as family. She's claiming you as part of her clan." "Really?" "In dragon culture, when someone saves a clan member's life, they become part of the family," Marcus explained. "But it's very rare for a dragon to actually perform the ceremony with a human." Ember ran back to Lisa and climbed up her leg to sit on her shoulder. The little dragon was making happy sounds and seemed proud of what her mother had done. "Does this mean I'm really part of a dragon family now?" Lisa asked. "It means much more than that," said a deep voice from the entrance to the room. Everyone turned to see an enormous dragon entering the room. This dragon was even larger than Ember's mother, with scales that were deep gold and bronze. His eyes were ancient and wise. "This is Goldwing," Catherine said in a respectful voice. "He's the eldest dragon in this sanctuary." Goldwing walked slowly to the center of the room. When he spoke, his voice rumbled like distant thunder, but his words were kind. "Young human," he said to Lisa, "what you did today was more important than you know. You didn't just save one baby dragon. You may have saved our future." "I don't understand," Lisa said. "Dragon babies are very rare," Goldwing explained. "We've been losing more dragons than are born for many years. Every baby is precious beyond measure. But Ember is special, even among the special ones." "How is she special?" "She was born with abilities that we haven't seen in dragons for over a century," Goldwing said. "She has the potential to help our people grow strong again, but only if she survives to adulthood." Lisa looked at little Ember, who was still sitting on her shoulder. "What kind of abilities?" "She can sense things that other dragons cannot," Ember's mother said, speaking for the first time. Her voice was beautiful, like music. "She can feel the emotions of others, even across great distances. This will help her lead our people someday." "Lead?" Lisa asked. "Ember is destined to become a great leader," Goldwing said. "But first, she must learn and grow. And that's where you come in." "Me?" "Dragons learn not just from other dragons, but from the world around them," Goldwing explained. "Human kindness, human wisdom, human ways of solving problems, these are all things that can make a dragon leader stronger." "What are you asking me to do?" Goldwing looked at the other dragons, then back at Lisa. "We're asking if you would consider becoming Ember's teacher and friend, not just for today, but for years to come." Lisa felt overwhelmed. "I'm just a school teacher. I don't know anything about training dragons." "You know about caring for young ones," Ember's mother said. "You know about patience and kindness. These are the most important things. And you've already proven that you'll put Ember's safety before your own," Marcus added. "That's exactly what a dragon guardian should do." Lisa looked around the room at all the dragons and humans watching her. Then she looked at Ember, who was gazing at her with trusting eyes. "What would this mean for my life?" Lisa asked. "It would mean big changes," Catherine admitted. "You'd need to learn about dragon culture and customs. You'd spend time here in the sanctuary, but you could still keep your job and your normal life too." "Think about it," Goldwing said, "but know that this offer is very special. In all of dragon history, only a few humans have been invited to help raise a future dragon leader." Lisa felt the weight of the decision. Her simple act of sharing her sandwich had led to this moment, a chance to be part of something bigger than herself, something that could help preserve an ancient and magnificent species. Ember nuzzled against Lisa's cheek and made her soft purring sound. In that moment, Lisa knew what her answer would be. Lisa looked around the beautiful underground room at all the dragons and humans waiting for her answer. Ember was still sitting on her shoulder, making soft, happy sounds. The little dragon seemed to sense that something important was happening. "Yes," Lisa said quietly. Then louder and more confident, "Yes, I want to help Ember and learn about your world." The room erupted in joyful sounds. The dragons made their musical roaring sounds, while Catherine and the other guardians smiled widely. Ember chirped excitedly and rubbed her head against Lisa's cheek. "Wonderful," Goldwing said, his deep voice filled with pleasure. "This is a great day for both our peoples." Over the next few hours, Lisa learned more about what her new role would mean. Catherine explained that she would visit the sanctuary twice a week to spend time with Ember and learn about dragon culture. Marcus would be her teacher and guide, helping her understand the complex world she was now part of. Dragons live much longer than humans, Ember's mother explained. "I am over 300 years old, but that's still young for a dragon. Ember will live for thousands of years, so the lessons she learns now will stay with her for a very long time." "No pressure," Lisa said with a nervous laugh. "Don't worry," Jake said. "Dragons are very forgiving. They understand that humans make mistakes. What matters is that you care about Ember and want to help her." As the day went on, Lisa met more dragons and learned about their community. She discovered that dragons had their own language, their own art, and their own way of seeing the world. But she also learned that they had been watching and learning from humans for thousands of years. "We admire many things about humans," an older dragon named Silverwing told her. "Your creativity, your ability to adapt, your willingness to help others even when it puts you at risk. These are qualities that we want our young ones to learn." "What can I teach Ember that other dragons can't?" Lisa asked. "Human compassion," Goldwing answered. "Dragons care deeply for their families and clans, but humans have the ability to care for complete strangers. Like you did today. You saw a creature you didn't recognize, and your first thought was to help it." "That's just normal," Lisa said. "No, it's not," Elena said. "Many humans would have been afraid or would have ignored Ember completely. You chose to help, even though you didn't know what she was." As evening approached, it was time for Lisa to go home. She had to work the next day, and she needed time to think about everything that had happened. "Will I see you again soon?" Lisa asked Ember. The little dragon nodded eagerly and made happy chirping sounds. "Tomorrow is Saturday," Marcus said. "If you'd like, you can come back then for your first official lesson." "I'd love that," Lisa said. Before she left, Goldwing gave her a small gift. It was a pendant made of what looked like dragon scale, but it was warm to the touch and seemed to glow with its own inner light.